Ever think about partnering, for example, with some type of TV broadcasting company or Netflix?
Well, yeah, it's very difficult to have things on TV because they like take control, and I want full control of my work. And I'm not gonna at any point say, "Oh, I'll just write this," or "I'll just animate this, and you can write it," or whatever. I've got to be doing all the things I do. But at the moment, I am actually trying to get a TV show. It doesn't just. I mean, it doesn't matter how well known I am. It still needs to convince people on a sort of, I don't know how you'd say it, TV networks. They need to be convinced that it's going to be money making, and I think I've got much proof that my stuff has made money over the years. I am writing a TV show with the intention of doing everything myself. It's just whether someone will accept it.
Right.
Is
Well,
yeah,
if you had the choice between doing a TV show with maybe less freedom or continuing to do this yourself, which one would you choose?
well, ideally, I'd like to be able to get my TV. I don't care how it's released. I just want it to be released somehow. So I just want to be able to make it without restriction. I think that's it. And also, I've been making a film as well, which I do intend to release to sell. So that might be something that I might make money off of. But still, I wouldn't, it wouldn't be much. I'd try and make it available online, but maybe donation if people weren't buying. Try and at least sell it to start with. But all I care about is about being able to continue doing it.
So, is there a lot of people that support with donations or shirts, or?
Yeah, I don't really do donations much anymore. I ask for donations if people have downloaded, say, all my music, and say, just if you want to donate, you can do. But, if not, don't worry about it because everyone downloads music for free, and that's just the way it is.
What do you think about that?
That's good. Music should be shared. Musicians can make money. There's definitely ways to make money, and I don't think you need to be a multi-millionaire. I don't think that inspires art at all. I don't think having a lot of money is very inspirational for creativity. I think there's always got to be a slight struggle, and I'm happy to be sort of on that line of struggling, but not being able to just buy loads of things or be able to pay people to do all these things, having to do it myself. I think the struggle's very important to the creative process.
So, what would you say to those big artists trying to right now battle music piracy?
No, I don't support that at all because big artists, by their definition, are big and have a lot of money. I don't believe that creative artists should have any more money than. I don't think they should be way richer than everyone else. I just think that's something we've got used to in the 20th century, that film stars and musicians are the richest people in the world or the richest performers, but I just don't believe that should be the case. No reason to have. You might be good at acting the film. It doesn't mean you deserve to have 40 million in the bank. I just don't understand why people are complaining. I know the record companies just want money, but in my mind, no one needs to have that much money.
Do you feel like that would sort of hinder your creative process if you had that much money? If you were making that much money from this?
Absolutely. If I had millions, if I had hundreds of thousands, if I had tens of thousands, I'd still find it more difficult to actually really need to get the creativity out of me. I just think, I think money really does hinder it. And that's tough when I've been struggling in some way. It might be financially, it might be in other ways in my life, but I think the struggle is imperative.
What's the future for Salad Fingers now? When was your last episode released?
A year ago, probably about 1 year ago. It doesn't seem like it though, because I went to America after I'd released it and sort of had a big time off, the most time I've had off doing my work for a long time. And then when I came back, I started writing what I want to be a TV show, which might end up a TV show, it might end up a web show, it might end up something. But that's what I've been concentrating on since then, as well as doing like little one-off cartoons. But Salad, he'll return because he's not going to be part of my TV show. I think that's going to stay a strictly web series, and I just try and release more. I mean, I've got loads of ideas. It's just find the time to make these.
So you have a huge viewer base. Have you ever thought of sending out your own message with your animations, with the power of your animations?
Well, yeah, there are stories that I do that I don't like to preach to anyone about political views, but I do like to share my sort of look on the world and how things that seem a bit messed up. But I don't just sort of go out and say, oh, this is messed up, hate this, and this is good, like this. And I usually just find some way of satirizing something I don't like without forcing a moral down the throats. And but also leaving it open-ended so people can decide. But with Salad Fingers, it's just, there's no real moral. I mean, he's a lonely man, and he makes up his own sort of characters and makes up his own reality, and it's kind of difficult to tell whether it's real or it's not, or if it's in his head. And I just don't think there's any real space to put a moral that's going to teach people life lessons.
Is there any message you want to send out through Salad Fingers?
Well, it's not so much a message; it's more exploring character. The message, I guess, is just his character and where it takes him. And if he says something that seems like old-fashioned or racist, it's not me being racist. It's me kind of looking at a character like that and thinking they probably would say something like that, or they probably would have that opinion because that's where they've been. They've been isolated and they're scared. So there's no real intention of putting a political message in Salad Fingers, because I don't think there are politics in his world. It's an isolated world.
Well, what do you think about the people that do that with their art, turning it into just plain political message?
Well, I like satire, but I much prefer making fun of something rather than getting angry and saying it should be changed. I know certain things should be changed. I mean, I've got a lot of problems with, say, religion, but I don't really need to tell anyone because there are so many people out there doing it. It just doesn't seem. It just seemed like it'd be a bit forced and a bit new.
So if you had a message to I guess say, what would it be?
I think there are too many messages to put in one small soundbite, but I generally want people to be able to express themselves without taking too much influence from other people and without being told what to like and what to think and what to do. I like people to make their own minds up. And but I see a lot of examples of just people jumping on bandwagons, and that's one the major thing that I want to, I guess, express is that people should be themselves and think for themselves. So it's not really a political message, it's more, think for yourself, that sort of thing.
Yes, it's that season again. Only one season left in the end. And since your aura clashes with the universe.
That was David Firth. Again, we thank him for appearing on the show and encourage you to go check out his myriad animations titled Burnt Face Man, Jerry Jackson, Salad Fingers, Sock 5, and many more. You can check all of these out at fat-pie.com. That's fat-pie.com. Again, we thank you for joining us today. And as always, we continue with our regular music programming. If you forgot already, you're listening to Rainy Dawg Radio, and I'm your host, Chad Rocks.